okay, the Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes have to have an epic draft for I think for the Lions to be, still amongst those top contenders. Now, obviously, every year it pretty much changes. Usually, where you got the great quarterbacks at like Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen, and Joe and Lamar, they usually always are recurring at the top of the top tiers. But with injuries and how the NFL is, you never really know. You never really know. But what we can say is Lamar is NFL, like it's a lot of going into Cleveland last season, going to this season right now. There's a lot of parity, and that's nothing new. With a high collision sport, sudden death playoff, anything can happen. So be it. But Brad Holmes to really compete within the NFC North and compete in the NFC and to compete amongst the perennial powerhouses or who will be the powerhouses in the NFL and the AFC. I think we all will agree that he got to have a great draft. They did nothing in free agency. I mean, outside of getting the Cade guy to center, I like Greg Dortch. It might have been another guy or two I like, but they picked up 3 guys, that had major injuries, man. The Damone Clark guy, the linebacker, which ain't really, supposed to be, nothing but a depth guy. But we know the Lions' depth has been tested historically since they've been here. So you probably gonna need to lean on him. The DJ, whatever, the Wannaman guy they got from Carolina, he's playing Minnesota. Peyton Turner been injured. It's like, wow. I like the McCrary pickup. I like the safety they got. Easy from Tampa and the nickel guy. I like them. You like them. But but he got to hit this out the draft right. And then also you got to hope that some of these guys from last year, with them moving on from DJ Reader, I don't know why Enrique's still on the roster. Now you got to hope that you can get some play from some of these guys last year. Tay Rallich is probably going to go to left guard. You hope that he can step it up. And he played well last year. You hope Tyleek Williams can step it up. Isaac Tesla, hopefully he going to the road. They missed big fella from that went down in Jacksonville. What was his name? The receiver, man. His name is right on the tip of my tongue. I think he ended up retiring, didn't he? Whatever his name was. Big fella. I liked him too. Had all them injuries, but he gone. So they missed him last year. You hope Tesla can step up. You heard J-Mo could take a step forward. You hope Sam Laporta can do what he do. Jack Campbell, you hope that if he can take it to another level, I mean, that'd be great. So you hoping Aiden Hudson 1 year. It's a lot of guys you hoping for. Liam McNeil about. It's a lot of hopes that the safeties can come back and do well. So, but then you still got to have a great draft. You still got to lead this draft and find the left tackle. You still got to lead this draft and find the pass rusher, inside in, outside. You still got to lead this draft, finding another linebacker. People want more speed in the front seven. And you can get that with drafting a defensive end. You can get that with finding a linebacker. They need to be more athletic. And it was rumors that Brad and Dan is clashing. I mean, I can see every reason why they should clash. I see every reason why there should be a clash between Brad and Dan. I see every reason why there should be a fucking issue there. He has to have a phenomenal draft. It ain't just like 2 or 3 years. They need impact players this year. They need impact play. And then on top of that, you have to hope that the guys that you drafted can come in and produce right away and stay healthy. Because you already know he got to love Jones for injury-prone players. You got to hope they can come in and produce right away. You have to. You know? So there's a lot of ifs there. In the last two drafts, it ain't been too shabby. And you rate the draft, wait to rate a draft 2 or 3 years, 4 years down the line. But, you look and you say, woo. Tyleik Williams, he said he kind of got injured last year. No surprise. Tesla, they forced him to play. He kind of really wasn't ready. Terry Rallis he shined. And then you go the other year, both your corners are consistently injured between Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rackstraw. Come on. And I can't remember who was in the rest of those drafts. I can't remember. Yeah, Tim Patrick was the receiver name. I can't remember who was in those drafts. Hold on. Let's see. So they took Tyleik Williams, Tate Rallis, Isaac Tesla, Miles Frazier, Ahmad Hassan, Dan Jackson, Dominic Lovett. I think that Lovett guy was on the practice squad. Dan Jackson, not sure what happened to him. Safety out of Georgia. Ahmad Hassan got injured. Miles Frazier injured the majority of the year. Tyleik Williams said he fell off because of injury. So three of your first 1, 2, 3, 4 picks had injuries. 2 missed, significant time, if not all of the season. And Tesla was a developmental player, and you see why the attributes kind of scream why they took him. And Tay Rallis was the best. He wasn't bad at all. 2024, Terrion Arnold, shaky. Ennis Rackstraw, shaky. Giovanni Manu, injured. So the first 3 picks, they was injured. This minute they need to lean on Giovanni Manu, he got injured. Sonoy Vaki, he been injured. Makai Wingo, he stay injured. And Christian Mahogany, he been injured. Am I lying? So think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of their whole 2024 draft. Damn near their whole 2025 draft outside of Dan Jackson. I don't know what happened to him, and outside of Tay Rallis. They all have injury issues. We don't know if Ennis Rackstraw can play or not because he's been injured. The minute they counted on Giovanni Manu, he got injured in Cincinnati. Makai Wingo, he stayed injured. Sonoy Vaki, he stayed injured. Christian Mahogany, he was injured when he first got here. He stepped in, then came back got injured this year. It's like, fuck. When they gonna put a premium on durability, man? Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole 9. I appreciate the love, support. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist in the comments. Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos like this. Peace.